The Tabard Theatre opens on the 14th of October under new management and newly refurbished. And there's a new show going in there, Tryst. One of the leads in Tryst is Natasha Barnes, and she joins me now. Natasha, you've just come from the lead role in Funny Girl at the Savoy. A hugely different production, this one. Tell me what attracted you to it.
Probably the fact that it was hugely different. I think it's about as far away from a very big glamorous musical on a West End stage, and then we toured it actually, so I've just got back from tour as you can get. So we've played some huge venues, and it was I think it was time for me to sort of find another challenge in terms of a really meaty, good role that I can kind of get my teeth into, and maybe show everybody I can do a little bit of acting as well as the singing, really.
Now you're sort of thrust into the lead role there. You're an understudy, and you got told at the last minute, I understand, that you were going to have to play the role. What are the sort of challenges that this role offers for you?
I think one of the main challenges that I feel better facing, having done what I did last year with Funny Girl, is that it's pretty relentless. Once we start, it's like being on a train. You get on a train and the train doesn't stop until it gets to the other side. So it's a big challenge of stamina. It's a big challenge of concentration, of sort of losing yourself in the script, which is an amazing script, and not letting a single word go. You know, everything is said for a reason. Every word is crucial, and it's. I've never done a thriller before. This is a psychological thriller, essentially, and it twists and turns in ways that you won't expect. It's very hard to talk about, actually, because you don't want to give everything away at all. But that's sort of part of the challenge, is part of why you want to do it in the first place, really.
So tell me about the character that you play.
This is a really hard one as well, because I don't want to give anything away. I don't know. Adelaide is, I sort of started calling her an iceberg, because what you sort of see on the surface is absolutely nowhere near the amount that she's got in her. Like, so what, you know, you often see a little tip of something, and then underneath the water there's this huge expanse of ice and block it. And I think with her, there's so much underneath the surface, and she's capable of so much, and we don't really realise that at first. When we first meet her, we think we've got her pegged.
George is he's a serial bigamist, and so it's set in 1910, and so I think bigamy was probably easier then than it is now. I don't know, actually, but I suspect it was easier then than it is now. And he's a serial bigamist who goes around the country picking up women and for his own ends, as that sort of transpires during the play. So he's a fascinating character, and it's sort of the reasons why he does that, which isn't just, you know, it's not obvious at the outset. So the logic as to why he does it, and his mindset, which drives a lot of the action of the actual play itself.
It's brilliant performing with Fred. I think Fred and I have had a sort of instant chemistry. Like, we get on really well and we make each other laugh a lot, and there's a sense of you have to work with someone. When you do a two-hander, there's only two of you, and if one of you drops the ball, you have to help them pick it up, or, you know, there's an element of teamwork, and I probably rely on Fred a little bit more than he relies on me, I would imagine. But yeah, we get on really, really well. It's been great, but the problem is keeping a straight face a lot of the time.
Natasha is she's fantastic, and she's come into it. I know she obviously comes from a big musical background, so this is a bit of a change in terms of the sort of thing she's been doing. You know, 2,000 seats in various different theatres around the country to 90 at the Tabard. So, but it's a very different style of performance. It's a very different style of show, obviously. But she's got this huge charisma and excitement to her when she comes on stage, and there's a real vitality to her. I think she's fantastic in it.
It reminds you that, you know, an audience is a living, breathing human experience, and you have to be able to read an audience, and it's amazing doing that in huge venues up and down the country, which is what I've done. But it's nice to come and really actually feel if someone's enjoying something. You know, what a lot of people don't realise is that actors can kind of feel if somebody's thinking about checking their phone, or if, you know, if someone's really in, and it's a challenge to you to try and keep the piece engaging and keep audiences involved, and the intimate space of the Tabard means that there's no hiding, there's no running away. You know, you have to really, really live the character and really live the circumstances in order for it to be believable.
For this particular play, it works really well because it's sort of very claustrophobic. It's just the two of us who are in it, and this whole sense of sort of as a pressure cooker, as sort of the best thrillers I think often are. So it sort of works quite well. I think that sort of intimacy and the claustrophobia of it should suit the text, hopefully.
So tell me a little bit more about the plot.
Well, there's only so much we can give away, because obviously being a thriller, we give away too much of the plot. It's not as thrilling as it otherwise might be. But it's a real, actually from the start of the play, it's a real roller coaster in terms of the relationship between these two particular characters, the situation they're in, and what transpires through it. So all I can say is that there are a lot of different twists and turns through it that you hopefully will surprise our audience and stick with them.